Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. My name is Nathanael Morton and I am a vertical jump coach, and I have helped thousands of athletes increase the vertical jump higher in dunk and basketball, and I will help you do the same thing. If you simply comment jump down below in the comment section, I will send you a free bodyweight vertical jump training program. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the vertical jump training program and the coaching in general of none other than Kneesovertoesguy. He doesn't have a YouTube channel, but he's very big and very popular on Instagram for doing crazy exercises where he puts his knees over his toes. There was a study done in 1978 that said you should never, ever put your knees past your toes because it leads to knee pain. And the whole entire world just followed suit, and we all said, okay. The research says it, and it says if we put our knees past our toes, we're gonna get knee pain. So if you ever saw anybody squatting with a centimeter of their knees going past your toes, they said, hey, don't do that. That's bad. You're gonna get knee pain. And it wasn't until years later when people started scratching their heads. Now, Kneesovertoesguy made it famous. He wasn't the first one, but he is the individual who made it famous and who said, wait, it's not that we shouldn't put our knees past our toes, it's that we should get our knees strong in those positions of our knees being past our toes. Because in sports, in basketball, in other sports, you're going to put your knees past your toes. And if your knees aren't strong in those positions, then you get injured. So why not just train in those positions with our knees past our toes so that when that does happen in sports, because it is going to, our bodies will already know what that's like because we have been training like that for months, for years. So listen, I am 100% on board with the Kneesovertoesguy revolution because we should be training with our knees past our toes so that when that does happen in basketball and other sports, we are ready for that and we don't get injury. So let's go through his vertical jump training program. Let's see how good it is. Let's see how good his coaching is. Let's see if it will increase your vertical jump. Let's see if it will prevent injury. And let's just see what he has to offer and where it stacks up compared to all of the other vertical jump programs. Let's go. And by the way, as I mentioned in my last video, I already have Kneesovertoesguy's coaching. I don't do his programs, but I literally subscribe $50 a month just for the information that is available on his website. Kneesovertoesguy's coaching is $50 per month. Vert Shock was $67. Nick Brizz's program was $67. Isaiah Rivera with THP Strength is $89 a month, or at least the version that I chose. Overtime Athletes was $134. Flight School was $29.99. Jordan Kilgannon was $77. Vert Code Bodyweight was $85, and Vert Code Elite was $27.50 per month, or $275 for lifetime access. So very quickly, before we get into his vertical jump training program, I just want to give you a little overview of why I would pay $50 a month for a program that I don't even use, and what else you will get when you do this $50 a month subscription. So you actually get, not only do you get a vertical jump training program, not only do you get a knee program, you get ankle ability, how to dunk, back ability, shin ability, shoulder ability, wrist ability. There's literally everything. There is so much information on this website that you could study it for hours and hours and hours, and you still would not get through all of the knowledge and information that he has to offer. And I'm telling you, if you get this, take notes. 1 hour a week, maybe 1 hour a day is better. Take notes on this guy because you can learn so much from just going through his website in general. So the vertical jump training program is available on his app, and he has two different programs. I believe there's only two, but there is a standards program, and then there is an advanced vertical jump training program. So in order to access his advanced vertical jump training program, you need to first be able to pass all of his standards. I do the same thing with my indestructible knees program, but they are called progression tests, and I don't let people go to the next phase of the knee program unless they can pass the progression test with no pain. Because if you just keep going and you still have pain, then you're going to continue to overload and it's not going to work. So progression test standards before you get into that is basically like the base phase of a PJF or an eccentric phase of the Overtime Athletes program. So it is very good, and the one thing that you can make certain is if you do ATG programming, you will not get injured. That's something that we can't really say about other programs. Now listen, I love the Lost Breed, but they had hurdle jumps the first day of training. You can't just go out and do hurdle jumps. You can't just go out and do depth jumps. And hurdle jumps are like repeated depth jumps. okay? You need to do shock jumps first, and then you need to do shock pause jumps. Then you need to do depth jumps. Then you need to do hurdle jumps where you give a little mini jump in between. You can't just go out and do hurdle jumps. Some people can, like a lot of you can, because you are already doing vertical jump training. You're already playing basketball. You're already doing plyometrics. You're already doing strengthening. You're already doing force absorption. You're already doing deceleration. You're already building yourself from the ankle to the knee to the hip. You already know what to do. But a beginner who just gets into flight school with the lost breed and starts doing hurdle jumps right away, they're gonna be like, Mommy, why my shins hurt? Why my knees hurt? I did go through his standards workout one time because I wanted to see if I could pass the standards, and I wanted access to his advanced vertical jump training program so that I could look at that too. And I could not pass all of the standards. I could pass 80% of the standards, but let's see. The Patrick step up with 100% of your body weight on a 6-inch box, I could pass that one. The KOT calf raise, I could pass that one. The tibialis raise, I could pass that one. The single leg back extension, I was not able to do. You have to get in a hyperextension machine and use one leg, not two. You have to use one leg, and you have to hold 50% of your body weight in your hands with dumbbells, and you have to be able to do 3 sets of 10 reps. I could not do that, so I needed to work up to this, and he wouldn't let me get his advanced program until I could do this, which I agree with. You gotta make sure people are strong enough to do your standards program before they get into your advanced program. He does have some upper body work as well, but it's only like 2 exercises per workout if you wanna get into that too. But I could not pass the mobility / flexibility portion of the upper body. I was well over how strong I needed to be, but I could not do the mobility portion of it. I could not pass the Jefferson curl. I was not flexible enough. I could not even get close to passing the hip flexor standard. You have to strap your feet into a cable. You have to do 50% of your body weight. For me, that's 100%, with your knees touching your torso. I can't even get my knees to touch my torso without any weight. I'm literally that unflexible, so I need to work on this. I could pass the chin-ups and I could pass the shoulder press, but the one thing that trying his standards program actually showed me is that my flexibility and my mobility is so sad. So personally, most of my issues with the standards program had to do with flexibility. I was not flexible enough to pass the standards. I was strong enough on all of them except hip flexors. So I really like this because this is going to ensure that you do not get injured. Day 1 of his program is legs. Day 2 of his program is legs. Day 3 of his program is legs. Day 4 and day 5 is a rest. Day 6 is a dunk day. And day 7 is a rest. He does have a different version of this that is Monday, Wednesday, Friday you work out, but I said I wanted to dunk. I wanted the dunk session. So you can actually message him and tell him, and listen, it's not actually him. It is not. He might do some of the athletes, but when I messaged him and we were conversating, I could tell I was not talking to Kneesovertoesguy. If you do Isaiah Rivera's coaching, you are actually talking to Isaiah Rivera or John Evans or Connor Barth. If you do my coaching, you are actually talking to me. But his coaching is much bigger than THP Strength and my coaching. So he has a staff, he has a team that messages you back, so it's not always him. Day 1 of his program, you have some quads, you have some calves, you have tibialis, you have some hamstrings, and then you have your upper body. Day 2 of his program, you got some ATG split squats, then you got the Jefferson curl, you got some hip flexors, you got some quadratus lumborum, which no program I've ever seen has that. So this is his special back exercise to make sure that you never have back pain in your life. Day 3 of his program, you have his famous knees over toes squat. Now, he didn't come up with this. This is actually called the sissy squat. Bodybuilders have been doing this for a while, but he has taken it way past anybody has ever done it before. The KOT squat, then you have Nordic curls, then you have some more calves, then you have tibialis, then you have some rows, and you have some dips. Then you rest for 2 days and you have a jump session. And he gives you a bunch of rolls for his jump session, a bunch of warm-ups, and then you go through your jump session and you work on your max jumps off of all approaches, your right foot approach, left foot approach, right, left, 2-foot approach, and left, right, 2-foot approach. So gotta love that. Also, he wants you to send videos to him of your form so that he can make sure that you are doing the exercises right, or so that his team or whoever's messaging you back can make sure that you are doing it right. So I love that as well. They're making sure that no one ever gets injured on their program. He has a lot of stretching in here, and he even has standards for his stretching and how flexible you should be. Now listen, recently there has been some beef between PJF Performance and Knees Over Toes Guy. Paul Fabers from PJF Performance says you shouldn't get too flexible because there's no correlation between flexibility and vertical jump. Knees Over Toes Guy says you might be right, but there is a correlation between lack of flexibility and injury. So should you stretch or should you not stretch? That is the question. Here's my answer, and listen, this is just my opinion. Both of these individuals know so much more than me. If they didn't, I wouldn't be sitting here studying their programs and studying their website and their information and their podcast for 1 hour each per week, which I need to do more of because I'm not studying enough. But here's my conclusion. Here's my opinion. You need to be able to move your muscles and your joints through the full ranges of motion. If you can't do that, you are more likely to get injured. You don't gotta be crazy flexible, but you have to be able to move your muscles and your joints through the full ranges of motion, but you need to be strong through the full ranges of motion. So if you're just going out and doing yoga and just stretching for 2 hours a day and not doing any strength training, then yeah, you might get really flexible and not be strong in those positions. But if you are doing strength training and you are stretching and strengthening through the full ranges of motion, then you're going to be the best athlete possible. So do I agree with Paul Fabers that you shouldn't stretch? Absolutely not. But do I agree that there's no correlation? There probably isn't a correlation between stretching and vertical jump. He wouldn't just say that to say that. He wouldn't just make that up. But there is a correlation between lack of flexibility and injury. So you need to stretch. You just need to be strong through the full ranges of motion. That's my opinion. And guys, that is actually it for his program. It is 1 week of programming repeated over and over and over until you pass the standards, which is definitely different. I don't disagree with it, but it's not like your beginner phase and then you have your intermediate phase and then you go to a concentric phase and then you go to a spring phase. Like it's not like that. It's just 1 week repeated over and over and over till you pass the standards. Then he gives you the advanced program, which I was obviously not strong enough or flexible enough to get to his advanced program. So I don't actually know what that is like. So listen, these are my conclusions. Now, there are 2 different versions of his standards program. There's one where you have legs on Monday, legs on Tuesday, legs on Wednesday, rest 2 days, and then a dunk session, and then rest the 7th day. And then there is a Monday legs, Tuesday rest, Wednesday legs, Thursday rest, Friday legs, Saturday, Sunday rest session, and there's no dunk session in that version of the program. He does have different levels of plyometrics and bounding that you can do on the rest days. So he says you can rest, or you could do some reverse sleds, or you could do some stretching, or you could do some plyometrics and some bounding, or you could do all 3 if you want. But he says if you get into the advanced bounding and plyometric session, you should only do that on one of those rest days that you have throughout the week. Knees Over Toes Guy is very unconventional. It's not bad because he's literally transforming many athletes. You can see it on his Instagram. This guy is getting people results. Just because we haven't seen it before doesn't mean that it's wrong. We all need to keep an open mind, and the results don't lie. You can check his Instagram and his Instagram story, and there are post after post after post of people dunking, yeah, increase my vertical, fix my knee pain, I'm better at this, no more back pain, no more elbow pain. He is really changing lives. But is it going to give you as many inches as all of these other programs? I do think that his program will make you more bulletproof than any other program, and that is not something that we could say about many programs. Most vertical jump programs will get you injured. That's literally the sad truth. Most vertical jump training programs will get you injured. They will overload too fast. They won't do enough force absorption or deceleration. They won't give you an eccentric phase. They are going to be missing something, or they're going to give you hurdle jumps at first, or one leg jumps up some bleachers at first. You can't just jump straight into that stuff. You're going to get shin splints. You're going to get patellar tendonitis. You might get some injuries unless you've been doing some strength training or some basketball or plyometrics before that. But beginners, most vertical jump training programs will get them injured. But his program will make you 100% bulletproof so that you never get injured again, which is huge. Will it get you as many inches as THP Strength with Isaiah Rivera and John Evans and Connor Barth? No, I don't think so. I think the THP Strength will get you the absolute most raw inches on your vertical. Okay, I think PJF Performance is the best basketball-specific vertical jump training program. I think Overtime Athletes and Bounce Kit by Jordan Kilgannon are also very good, and I think Knees Over Toes Guy will get you a tremendous amount of inches on your vertical jump while getting you stronger, while getting you more bulletproof. So this is going to be the #1 bulletproof program. PJF Performance is the #1 basketball-specific vertical jump training program. THP Strength is the #1 program if you want raw athleticism and raw inches on your vertical, and that's my conclusion.
Young visionary, and I don't know where I am. I'm running blindfolded like I ain't got a plan. You either steady